Hey guys, Trudeau here, and well, Grim Misadventure number 58 and number 59 have shown us two different factions that we can encounter in Grim Dawn, and one of them is Kimmons Chosen, and the other is the Order of the Death's Vigil. And I did not address these particular Grim Misadventures when they arrived, because, well, I sort of thought that there's a little bit more to it, a little bit more depth. And now with Grim Misadventure number 60 and with build 23 that has just arrived, well, I was right. And the factions actually have, obviously, a faction vendor. We all thought that they will have a faction vendor, otherwise the reputation would be for nothing. And that faction vendor with, well, it takes in consideration your reputation, and you can buy augments, and Grim Misadventure number 60 is all about augments. So let's dive into it. Alright, here we are, Grim Misadventure number 60, faction rewards, and here we have the augments. Augments come in the form of powders, meticulously crafted enchantments, tinctures and poisons used by the various factions of Cairn. And here you can see some examples of it. The first set is applied to rings and necklaces, and you will have a choice of 35 different magic and rare quality accessory augments, which you can apply in any combination. And as you can see here, we were given 3 examples of this. The first one is Blessed Ashes, number 1, which is a magic augment that's applied to rings and amulets. Ritual Salts, number 1, the same magic augment applied to rings and amulets. And Boneback Spine. And the reason that I said number 1 is right here. For those wondering what the Roman numeral 1 at the end indicates, there are 3 tiers of augments available on Grim Dawn's 3 difficulties. So what that means is from normal we will get tier 1. From the difficulty above, veteran, we will get tier 2. And from the last one that is not yet released, we will get tier 3. And the second collection is applied to weapons, shields and caster offhands. Two-handed weapons will receive special potent versions of augments available, provide more stats. Alright, and here are 4 examples of that. We got Manticore Venom, Trollwort Powder, Oleron's Fervor and Potent Oleron's Fervor for the two-hander. Alright, and also if you choose to apply a certain augment, that particular weapon, I think it's only weapons, will receive a special visual bonus. As you can see here, some awesome visuals. And of course, an item may have only 1 augment on it at any given time, and applying a new augment overrides the old one. With confirmation, and salvaging or dismantling an augmented item does not return the augment. But do not fret, you can always buy extra copies from faction vendors. Alright, so this is just another enchantment. I think, well, it's on top of the already existing ones. And it gives us some incentive to gain reputation with the factions that we encounter. And well, that has been pretty much it for the Grim Misadventure number 60. And now, finally, I can talk about the other factions that were exposed in Grim Misadventure number 59 and 58. First up, we have Kimmons Chosen, as presented in Grim Misadventure number 59. Alright, so short summary, these guys are some paladins that are pretty damn zealous, and well, they oppose the Order of the Death's Vigil, and here is their background story. So Kimmons Chosen are followers of the enigmatic self-proclaimed prophet Thydrus Kimmon. Alright, so this guy was a noble, and you can read all the story by yourself. I'm just doing a short summary. This guy was a noble, and he did not like where his life was going with all the stuff and politics and so forth. So he took refuge in the library and started reading. And well, his father was so displeased with that he took all the books and burned them. So he ran away. Typical. And well, he roamed the world and he found poverty and misery and sadness. And one day he returned, but instead of becoming what his father wanted, a political figure, he turned to the church, the luminary, as it was called, and he became inquisitor. And one day he discovered sort of an old artifact, a place where it was sort of a shrine to an old god, and he became obsessed with the theory that an old god would come and save them all. So that particular shrine had some writings in a dead language, and well, he studied that dead language a lot until he mastered it, and he performed a ritual, and then well, a voice of, they say here, intelligence and a lot of emotions entered his head and offered him great power, but also at a very great cost, and does not say what cost. But anyway, he refused and tried to banish the voice from his head, but instead the village that he was in had been burned down by that. Anyway, so he says that he was defeated and he returned to the capital for, well, he was prepared to take in his punishment for spending a lot of time there and denying the summons that he received to return to the capital. And when he returned, most of the leadership in the capital had already become possessed by something, and well, he found that out because of his intelligence and whatnot, and he tried to ascend the ranks and well, become a force of good in the world. As it happened, the great prophet emerged to a crowd of spectators, and well, his house was enveloped in fire the night after, but he emerged untouched by the flames, and he preached to the crowd of the coming apocalypse. And after seeing this, our good Kimmon thought, well, this is my chance, and I'll go. He was exiled, and I'll go, and he leave the capital, survive the apocalypse, and then become the leader of the world. And that's how Kimmons Chosen was formed. When he left the capital, a lot of people followed him, and well, that's how they were formed. However, they have a big problem with the Order of the Death's Vigil, because they think they tamper with the divine thread and so forth. So, most likely, we will have to choose between Kimmons Chosen and the Order. We cannot have reputation for both, which is kind of interesting. It kind of forces us to create multiple characters. I think that the faction rewards can be transferred through the stash. If not, then we got a little bit of a problem, but not that big, as we have to just identify what our specific character needs and choose our faction. Okay, so that was Kimmons Chosen. You can read all of it in the description. It is Grimmest Adventure number 59. Alright, let's go forward to the Order of the Death's Vigil. Grimmest Adventure number 58, the Order of the Death's Vigil. Okay, so these guys are necromancers, and they shrouded all their activities and powers in secrecy. So, obviously, we're all wondering how they came to be. And, well, as it says here, the Order owes its origins to just one man, Uroboruk, which is really hard to pronounce. But anyway, So this guy was immortal. He's more legend than man, and no one knows in what distant time and place he was born. But his name reappeared throughout history, and is central to tales of a lot. But in particular, the downfall of Arkovia. Alright, so what happened? The Arkovian oligarchs, they did not like Uroboruk, so they sentenced him to death. However, he is immortal. He cannot die. His skin would not burn, and his wounds would not bleed. So when they saw that, they became obsessed with his power. So they tortured him a lot, and in the end, this guy, being really intelligent, he told them that, alright, I'll give you the secret of immortality. The idiots accepted, of course. They thought that they had broken him, and they greedily accepted. Alright, so what did he do? He did give them immortality, but not how they liked it. So they became the mindless ghouls and tortured spirits that we can find in Steps of Torment. Steps of Torment was a prison in which they imprisoned him and most of his followers. Alright, so after that is the fall of Arkovia, he recruited eager students on his travels, and he taught them a lot, and a lot of his power, but not his immortality. And as it says here, he remained the leader of the Order of the Death Vigil, right until several years before the Grim Dawn, when he just disappeared, never to return. Well, we don't know, never to return. And his students, since then, they became, well, not really obsessed in finding him, but they tried to find him, and all the students of the Order have at least 1 year to go and look for him, but in the same time it is a rite of passage, as in that year they learn a lot about the world and so on. So, well, this guy Uroboruk is responsible for the Order of the Death Vigil, which this faction is opposing the Ethereals and the Chthonians, just like Kimmons Chosen. However, they dabble in necromancy. Oh, well, they are necromancers, and apparently the Mad Paladins have a problem with that. And finally, the last faction that we have presented in the Grimmest Adventure, we have the Black Legion. So the Black Legion is, in truth, really a Night's Watch, because it consists of mostly prisoners that were given the choice whether to be killed or join the Black Legion. And of course, if not all, most of them did. So what is the Black Legion? The Black Legion is, well, a personal army, so to say, of the Emperor. Well, at least that's what it was. And well, as it says here, the overcrowded prisons, they took their members from overcrowded prisons, and they're warriors, they're an army, and that's what they are. They have been put to brutal exercises and wars and so on, but their numbers grew, and they became feared. Not many of them survived these brutal exercises and wars and open combat, but the ones that did sort of got a big position. They're still just an army, they're still just grunts, but they are really well trained grunts. Alright, so what is about the Black Legion? Well, because of their training, a lot of them survived the Grim Dawn, and we saw a few of them in the game until now, and well, the deadliest weapons at the command of the Emperor, earning them the moniker Death's Bannerman. And before the Grim Dawn, they've been used to hunt down political adversaries and whatnot at the order of the Emperor. They've been, well, just like I said, a personal army. But now that that the Grim Dawn came, well, I don't think they have a master anymore. But I guess we shall see. I'm really looking forward to this faction and the Order of the Death Vigil. However, I do not think that my playstyle is what the Order has to offer me in faction rewards. I think these guys will offer us a lot for melee and stuff like that. But we'll see. This has been it with all the factions that have been presented right now. They have quite interesting stories, I would say, and it doesn't take much to read. I'll put all the links in the description with all the grim misadventures so that you can read for yourself. I've just done a quick summary, sort of funny, about them, of well, everything you need to know. But anyway, I'm really looking forward to this, and I'm gonna go and play build 23. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please comment and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.